Hello, and welcome to day 3. If you've made it this far, congratulations. It's kind of at this point where it's either you kind of stick it out. When you get to that movie. This is the point in the middle of the movie when everything starts to go a bit wrong. And that's why this morning I wanted to talk about resistance. I think resistance can be taken in a couple of different ways, where it can be trying to tell us that we're doing something from a wrong perspective. We are there's something that we're not quite listening to because we need to make a change. I love this. There's a quote by Thomas Carlyle, and he talks about the block of granite, which was an obstacle in the path of the weak, becomes a stepping stone in the path of the strong. So you could say that stone was, a thing of resistance because it was creating some friction to allow things to happen. And often when we get this restriction and we get resistance in our lives, it's because there's some sort of block. And when we've got blocks in our lives, it can create a lot of stress, a lot of tension. And, it's quite it's quite interesting when we try and remove those blocks. So what we're going to have a look at today is morning. Lots of people saying good morning, and it's Friday. So yes, there's not much resistance on a Friday, I think. So having a look at what we can do with that from a meditation perspective, and how we can really be on purpose and use that resistance to help us point our direction in a particular way. So what I'm going to get you to do in this particular meditation, so there's lots of different mudras. So there's ways that you can hold your hands in meditation. So you've got the typical where you can put one hand on top of the other one. You've got this one, which is seen quite a lot. You've got other ones like this, and they all have different meanings in terms of the energy and stuff that they invite into your body, or energy that you want to give out and give back. But this one I want you to, in the meditation, is to push all your fingertips together. So each one of your fingertips are going to be touching. And when we get settled into the meditation, I want you to start then focusing, and I'll take you through this as well, but just so that you know, focus on each fingertip. So when the attention goes to the thumb, to the finger, to the middle finger, to the ring finger, to the pinky finger, from the pinky finger to the middle finger, so to the ring finger, to the middle finger, to the index finger, and back to the thumb. And use that as a point of focus for the meditation. Because sometimes I think when we try to get into the breath, it's a little bit harder. But what I love about this is that you'll start to notice the energy that flows with it, because you can actually feel it tingling down your fingers and into your fingertips. It's really quite interesting. So this morning what we're going to be on purpose is about having a look at where that resistance is, where those blocks are, and what we need to do to remove them. Look for the answers, look for where we can actually start to push through that, and use the energy that we're going to get to maybe blow up those blocks. So get yourself again back into a position. If you're lying down for these, that's also good. I know some of you guys are in the UK who potentially are watching this, so it might be bedtime for you. But making sure that you're in a place where you're relaxed. Again, thoughts might come into this, but just be aware of them. Don't give them any weight. My little thing for when I start to think in and get thoughts that come through, I learned from when I was meditating in a Thai a Thai monastery a few years ago, and their little things are having triggers that will say, you know, you're thinking, thinking, thinking. And that little trigger for me now is when I start to have these, you know, huge revelations and huge thought patterns and huge negativities, I can go, oh, okay, thinking. And that think will bring me back to the breath or the fingers or whatever the focus of my meditation is at that time. So sitting with your feet again flat on the floor, getting some space between you and the back of your chair. If you are lying down, make sure you've got, you know, your shoulders are creating some space. Again, it's important that we keep that distance between our ears and our shoulders. And let's create some space. So just again, that first thing in the morning, like I always love it when, especially when I'm doing yoga, is that first breath. That first breath that kind of goes, oh yeah, I actually haven't been breathing properly. So just take a deep breath for me and blow it out through your mouth. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then you notice that it already is bringing a lot of relaxation, and that resistance is already starting to go. And just slowly close your eyes when you're ready. And then just as you're breathing in and out, notice where your breath is. Don't force it. Just allow it to be where it is naturally. Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? And just slowly watch and observe what's going on in your body. And be aware of your feet on the floor and your bum on the seat. Are your shoulders coming forward and up, or can they go back and down? And maybe just give your head a little tilt from one side and slowly move it over to the other side. And as we go into this meditation, I want you to think about ways that you can remove the things that are holding you back, that are stopping you from being on purpose. What is it that what block is there? What thought? What worry? Where's maybe your ego coming in that's creating a block, a resistance, a stone, or whatever it is that it might look like or feel like for you? And if today you made the choice to be on purpose and to change what that resistance is, what would you have to do? If you could remove the cause of that resistance, what would you have to do? And just now bring your fingertips together like I showed you at the beginning. So fingers, all fingers and opposite hands, pushing together just gently, and rest that into your lap. And then just bring your thumbs. So just focus as you breathe. So focus on the end of your thumb tips. What are you noticing? And then feel that energy coming down your thumb tips and running all the way up to your finger, your first finger. And so just making sure that you have your fingers all touching. That energy is going to flow really easily. Take that energy back down from your index fingertips all the way down to the base of that finger and then back up again into your middle finger. And make sure you're still breathing. Down, then coming up your ring finger. Can you feel that energy, feel that pulsing? And come back down that ring finger and move up through your pinky finger. And down, ring finger. Middle finger, index finger, thumb, and coming back down to index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. And as you breathe in and as that breath starts to come out, you can feel that energy really plumbing back into those fingers and ultimately charging you up for your day or your sleep or whatever it is that you're going to be on purpose today. Middle finger, index finger, thumb. And you don't have to move to feel that energy, it's just doing it on its own. Thumb, finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. And just flow through that motion of moving from finger to finger to finger, backwards and forwards across your hand as you breathe in and breathe out. And feel that energy that's being generated from your fingers go into those blocks, those areas of resistance that are stopping you from being on purpose. Continue to move back and forward, finger by finger. And those ebbs and those flows. And those waves. And we know how powerful waves can be because we see the sand on the beach. They were once rocks. So where can we use those waves to take those rocks and those blocks that we've created in our lives to change what we have at the moment which we're not happy with, which are stopping us from being on purpose? Take those lessons from the past and leave the future for potential. And making sure that if you've focused on your fingers, and you may have started to think, but that's okay. Just come back to the end of your fingers and focus on the energy from finger to thumb, from thumb to finger. And start to shift that energy now. And come back into your breath. What What have you realized? And maybe you don't have the answer right now, but you'll get it later. I'm sure you will. And take a deep breath in. And as you push out, raise your hands above your head. Do a big stretch. So today's been about getting rid of resistance. But first we have to know where the resistance is coming from. So in order for us to be on purpose. So anytime you need a bit of energy today, just think back to your fingers. And if you need to, you can tap back into that again. Just close your eyes and focusing on your finger and moving that energy through. If you have got any questions, don't be afraid to let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you have got any blocks that are coming up and you're interested to know some strategies to get rid of them, do that as well. But otherwise, have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye.